Hey guys, Corey here with GottaBeMobile, and we have the brand new Moto X Pure Edition for 2015. It's been Moto ordered, Moto makered, and now shipped right to our door. This is the new 2015 Moto X Pure Edition. So we just got this in the mail here from FedEx, and I can smell the leather already. This is the brand new 5.7-inch Moto X. This year Motorola decided to go with a much bigger screen rather than 4.7, 5.2, and now we have a big 5.7-inch display. So this is their newest phone. It comes at a great price. It's extremely customizable. I chose black leather here myself. You can also get wood and tons of other options, and accent colors can all be metallic with like 10, 11 different colors, and we all know the drill. It's Moto and it's customizable. So go ahead and pull the phone out first here. I went with black leather with my Moto X. And just for fun, I wrote Moto X Pure. You can get an engraving on there. You don't see it very well because I chose black, and of course that engraving will be the same color. But as you can see here, it's a pretty big phone, but it doesn't feel very big, and that's because there's very thin bezels around that massive 5.7-inch Quad HD display here. So great looking phone so far, but first go ahead and go through the box. You have some paperwork, and one thing that's kind of neat that a lot of people didn't expect is there's actually a little case or bumper. It is just cheap plastic that comes in the box with the new Moto X, which is kind of surprising because it's only $399, yet they give you, a good phone for that price, and a case as well. It's got some paper all over it, and I probably won't ever use that, but it's a bumper case for those that want one. The new turbo charger charges this thing super fast, but the cord's attached, which we're not really a fan of. They did this with the new Moto 360 as well for some reason. But that's the turbo charger as well. And throw some of this junk back in the box, and then your paperwork as usual. And a little tool here to remove the SIM slot. And the kicker here is in the SIM slot area is also a micro SD card, which is something that Samsung and a lot of others have kind of abandoned, is the SD card, something a lot of people aren't too thrilled about. But we'll skip past most of that. Pretty fancy box for this new Pure Edition, fully unlocked, fully usable with any one Moto X. And get to the phone itself. So as you can see, here it is, the brand new Moto X Pure Edition for 2015. And tear that off and get right to the phone. Go ahead and get that box out of the way. So as you can see here, we have this nice black leather. It seems to be a little better with as far as the build quality and texture compared to last year. It's got a slightly different texture. It doesn't look quite as leathery, I guess. It doesn't look as much like leather, and I went with the dark accents all the way around. So I went with a pretty dark silver and black, and then black leather. Of course, you can go with all kinds of crazy colors and leathers and woods and accents and bright colors that are metallic for this, and then there's that SIM slot and SD card slot up front. But just for a quick comparison, this is a 5.7-inch phone next to the same size screen, 5.7-inch Samsung Galaxy Note 5. So it's actually slightly smaller with a bigger screen, and of course it's a lower price. But as we boot it up, we're going to run through some of the specs. The power button here, very similar to last year's Moto. It's just a bigger phone. It's very similar, but there is a couple very important, very noteworthy changes. So of course we have a 5.7-inch Quad HD display here. We have a new 20 megapixel camera on the back, 21 I'm sorry, which they claim is very impressive. And the dual LED flash, as usual. We do have a new front-facing camera with a flash there as well. You can see that on video. They have a front-facing flash with their new phone. Of course, we have the Qualcomm Snapdragon 808 6-core processor, which is kind of unique. 3 gigs of RAM and a 3,000 milliamp hour battery. So same size battery as like the G4 or the Note 5, but of course it comes with that fast charging and tons of customization. And of course we have a regular USB charging port on the bottom, the dual front-facing speakers, the basically stock Android 5.1 Lollipop, as you just saw, with a couple of those small changes that Motorola does themselves with some of Motorola's voice commands and what have you. But overall, it's a very similar look and feel to any other Moto X released as of late, just bigger, but it's still very usable with one hand. And so far, I'm pretty impressed here from just these initial things here. But let me get through some of the setup, and we'll be right back. Alright, and we're back with a brand new Moto X 2015 Pure Edition, and went through some of those setup steps. And as you can see here, We have a very stock Android as expected here with the new Moto X Pure Edition. Just like everyone kind of expected, there's not a lot going on. Pure Android with a couple of small tweaks to make it kind of a simple experience with Migrate and Moto's customization app here. We can come in here and add glance information and all kinds of stuff with your voice and react to movement, and a double flick of your wrist will launch the camera, as you can see here. And just a couple things like that. But we have a powerful 6-core processor inside this phone with 3 gigs of RAM. 16 gigabytes of storage is the base, which is not a lot, to be honest. But that is what you're going to get for $399, and then there is a micro SD slot up top for expanding that storage. So for $399, you get a pretty powerful, overall great device with you know, a 5.7-inch screen and some dual front-facing speakers and a lot of other things to offer, all for a price that's much lower than some of the competition. But real quickly here, while I got the screen on, maybe one more time, we will compare it to the Samsung Galaxy Note 5. So both pretty big here. Maybe turn up my brightness a little bit. And as you can see here, they're very big phones, being 5.7 inches, but they both have pretty slim bezels. This is the smallest Note released as far as physical size, and so the Moto X being able to be slightly smaller than that is pretty impressive, considering it has, you know, the same 5.7-inch display. But that's just a quick look here at the new Moto X. For now, stay tuned for plenty more hands-on video, photos, and more details. Thanks for watching, guys.